Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today I'm going to show you how to build this small and adorable fairytale cottage. So here is our materials list for the build. Everything inside of this double chest is what we're going to be placing down in today's tutorial. We'll start off at the top with all of these blocks here, which most of them I should say have been rounded up just a little bit, as we're going to be using them to add in some texture to the build, making it look nice and weathered and lived in. So depending on how you place them down will obviously depend on how many you use, so just so you don't run out of resources, I have rounded most of them up. Same go with the oak leaves over here. And you don't have to use oak necessarily. You could use jungle, acacia, dark oak even, but I'd mainly stay away from spruce and birch. I don't think they go particularly nice with the build. Then we have all of our wood products. We're going to be using some dark oak wood, followed by some spruce wood just below it, and then lastly some jungle, as well as 4 oak logs. Now, jungle may not be for everybody. Perhaps you really just don't like jungle wood, which is fair enough, but maybe you're also not nearby a jungle. And if that is the case, then you can just replace these with oak, I'd recommend. And then very lastly, in the bottom corner here, we just have all of our miscellaneous items that we're going to be using. And I should mention, these 3 cornflowers just represent any type of flower going inside the flower pot and on top of the coarse dirt. So first things first, you're going to want to find yourself a nice spot to build this in. I'd recommend a dark oak forest. I think that biome fits really nicely with this build. And once you picked out your spot like I have here, the first thing to do is make an area of granite that is 7 blocks at the front here by 5 blocks on the side. So that's 7 by 5 by 7 by 5. And the first thing we're going to do is just break this front block here in the middle and place our jungle door down, so you know where the front of the build is going to be going for the rest of the tutorial. Now we can go ahead and bring all of these blocks up by an additional 2 more. So we get a 3 high wall going all the way around made up of granite. And we will be adding some brick into this later on to get a little bit of that texture, but we're just going to do it all out of granite first of all, as it's simply going to be easier that way. So once you have your big rectangle of granite built, you can then just hop in the middle here, and on the shorter sides, we're just going to add in 3 more granite blocks on the top like so. Now we're going to go around and punch out all of our windows. So we're going to start off at the front of the build here and move around to the left hand side, and we're going to get rid of these 3 in the middle, and we're going to go ahead and put a granite stair at the bottom. We can then move around to the back and 1 block inwards, go ahead and get rid of these 4, leave a gap of 1 and get rid of these 2, and place another granite stair at the bottom of that one. And then moving around to the right hand side of the build, we're going to do the same as what we did on the other side and get rid of these 3 in the center. And you can put a granite stair there or a brick stair. I realize I only gave you 2 of these in the materials list. So now what we can do very simply is mix in all of our brick blocks, trying our best to get roughly a 50-50 split of granite and brick. Now we have this built up, we're going to go ahead and grab our dark oak planks, stairs and slabs. And the first thing we're going to do is grab our planks and have a horizontal line of 7 planks going all the way across from one side to the other, just like that. We're also going to go ahead and line the top with some dark oak slabs and extend them 1 out on either side, just like that. We can then also go ahead and add in a dark oak stair upside down, as well as do the same on the other side. And we're going to start off by having an upside down dark oak stair in either of these top 2 corners, with a regular stair coming out of the back of it just like that. Another one on top, and then we're basically going to repeat that same pattern and staircase our way up until we eventually meet in the middle like so. We can go ahead and do the same around the other side here. And once you have that done, we can then move around to the back of the build, where we're going to have another 2 upside down dark oak stairs, and we're just going to bring them all the way across to connect them with 5 dark oak slabs. And now we can move around to the front of the build, where we're going to have a dark oak stair upside down, just like we did out the back, with 1 and 2 slabs. And on top of those slabs, we're going to have ourselves 2 dark oak stairs, and pretty much just repeat the same as what we've done on the side, staircasing our way all the way up to the top until they eventually meet in the middle. And then what we can also do is just bring these slabs out by 1, 2 and 3 more. You can also go ahead and add in some brick and granite blocks on those 3 right there. That's my bad, I forgot to mention that at the start. So that right there are the walls and roof outline all done. Now time to fill in the rest of the roof, and we're just going to use the stone brick stairs for now and make it a lot more dilapidated later with the leaves and the mossy stone bricks. So pretty much all we want to do around the back here is just add 2 rows going all the way across like so, looking very clean and nice at the moment. And then round the front here, we're just going to add in 2 like this, curved round to the side so that they connect nicely, and we're going to have 4 just above it, once again doing the same, making sure they connect to the stairs. And then we can just repeat the same over here, so 2 at the bottom and then 4 at the top. So right now that's a very nice looking roof. We need to do something about that, because that's not really the idea of this build. The actual idea of this build is to make it look very run down and weathered and almost like it's become a part of the forest, and we've definitely done that with the walls, but definitely not with the roof. So what we're going to do here is just add in some mossy stone bricks and leaves, and you could probably freehand this without my help, but I know some of you will want to know the exact placement of how I'm going to do it, so follow along closely and I'll show you what we're going to do for the back to start off with here. We're going to be at the back, obviously, on the right-hand side and go 2 blocks in at the top, break that slab and replace it with an oak leaf. We're then going to go down by 1 block and across by 1 and replace that stair with 1. And then go across again and do the same, and then across once more, and then very finally 2 more just like that, draping over the edge. So that's 1 section. We're then going to move over to this side, and 1, 2 and 3 stone bricks in. We're going to place an oak leaf just above it, and then break this one here beside it, and then this one here down in the corner, and then we're going to have 1 and 2 more like so. So I just take a step back. If you just want to pause that and have a look, make sure you got the same as me. Those are all of the leaves for the back of the build, and really the mossy stone bricks are something you can probably do just freehand, as I said. So we're just going to stick 1 there, maybe another one down here, trying to maybe keep close to the leaves, and then possibly we'll just put another one here. Doesn't honestly matter too much at all. You may be wondering why my leaf texture looks different to yours, and this is actually a resource pack that I got from vanillatweaks.net. It basically makes your leaves look nice and bushy, and I would really recommend it. I'll do my best to leave a link down in the description below. So now we're going to move on to the front here, starting on the right hand side, and we're going to get rid of this stone brick stair in the corner, replace it with a leaf, and stick another one on top of this block. We're going to have 1 on top of that upside down dark oak stair, and then 1 just in front of this slab. We can then go down by a block and add another one here, then down and across and add a final one over here just in the corner. So that's the right hand side, and then very finally over here, just a bit simpler, don't want to overdo it with the leaves, we're just going to get rid of these 2 blocks and replace them with some oak leaves, and then maybe we'll just add a little bit of mossy in, again not too much, just a little bit to make it look nice and weathered, and like it's become, as I said earlier, a part of the forest, which I think looks really kind of cool. So that's it for all of the roof leaves. I do just want to, however, add a couple to the walls. So we're going to go 1 block away to the left from the door and place down 2 just like that, with another one diagonal from those 2 blocks. We're then going to move around to the right hand side of the build, and just next to this window space we're going to have 1 at the top and then 2 just like that, and then move around to the back here and have 1 more in the corner like so. Now we're going to make ourselves a small log pile just to the left hand side of the build over in this corner here, next to the leaves. And the first thing we're going to do is grab our oak logs, and we're going to place 1 horizontally into the leaves. Now honestly, doesn't matter too much how you do this, but again, if you want to copy exactly, just follow along here. So horizontal, vertical, horizontal, and then another horizontal one like so. We're then going to add in some campfires and extinguish them so that they look like some smaller logs, and kind of just rotate how you place these down so they're not all facing the same direction. Go ahead and extinguish them as well. And very finally, just to add a little bit of light, we're going to stick a lantern on top of this block. Just next to our main doorway here, we're going to have 2 jungle fences either side of it with a jungle slab on top, as well as 1 more up by half a block here in the middle. We're then going to move around to the left hand side of the build where we have our log pile, and in this window gap we're going to place in some jungle fences and have 2 spruce trapdoors either side, close them against the wall, and they kind of look like some shutters. We can then go ahead and do a very similar thing around the right hand side of the build, so once again 2 jungle fences, 2 spruce trapdoors, but on this one, we're actually going to have a chain at the top here. Just make sure you're clicking on the stair, not the brick block, otherwise it's going to be horizontal, and underneath that chain, have another lantern. As for around the back of the build here, the first thing we're going to do is actually step inside of this big gap, and we're going to place in 2 jungle trapdoors on the top of those 2 blocks and just fold them open. Maybe once we're outside would be smart. We'll fill these in with something on the interior, but we're going to go ahead and do the same again for this block. And then what we can do just in front of these 2 gaps, so in front of the trapdoor blocks, as you can see here, place down 2 coarse dirt, and then we're very simply just going to surround that with some spruce trapdoors, make ourselves a nice little flower bed, where of course we need some flowers to go on top of them. The very final thing we have to do for the exterior of the build is actually add in our chimney. So once again, we're around the back of the build here, and we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this block here. So 2 blocks away from this dark oak stair. Hopefully you're right locating that one. And we're going to go ahead and place in a mossy cobblestone in replace of it, then a regular cobblestone, then a mossy cobblestone stair facing that way, with a regular cobblestone stair upside down off the back of it. Another mossy cobblestone full block, and on top of that we can have our campfire surrounded with spruce trapdoors, and just like that we've got ourselves a very nice looking chimney. So there we go, that is the exterior of the build all done. Time to head inside and work on the interior. So it's a bit of a mess in here, particularly the ceiling, and we'll remedy this in just 1 second. But before we do that, I would like to sort out the floor first of all. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of the blocks on the floor, with the exception of the 2 here, just next to the core stair. Obviously that includes the one underneath the doorway, and that's going to pop off as you place it. That's okay though, because we can place in our stripped dark oak log and just plop it back on top like so. So the way I'm doing this is just adding in all of these facing the same direction, so that when they are all eventually placed down, we get a very nice floor texture just like this. And now we can look up and sort out this mess. So the first thing we're going to do is add in a line of spruce trapdoors along the top there. And either side of it, we're just very simply going to add some stone brick upside down stairs. But of course, you may want to add in a little bit of texture with these mossy cobble blocks. There's probably going to be some moss seeping in, so it wouldn't hurt just to have a few placed in replace of the regular stone brick stairs. So in this gap, just underneath the jungle trapdoors, we're going to have ourselves a smoker and a loom, but we want the loom facing the other way. So temporarily, just break this block, jump up and place it facing the wrong way, and you should have this texture right here. Admittedly, without the 4 pixels here, those are kind of meant to look like drawer handles, but I've always thought the back of a loom looks like a set of drawers, so that's what we have going on in this little cubby. Next up, time to add in the fireplace. So we're going to grab ourselves a campfire, break this block in the right hand side corner, just over here, and before we place it down, we should probably replace these dirt blocks with something else, so brick and granite, and then we can go ahead and slap our campfire down just like that. And then directly above it, we're going to go ahead and break this stone brick stair. And as you can see, that is actually the chimney. So we're going to go ahead and connect it by placing in a mossy cobblestone. And just underneath that, we're going to have a cobblestone wall, followed by a cobblestone slab. We can then have a cobblestone wall either side of our campfire and another cobblestone slab on top of them like that. And as you can see, we've got ourselves a very cozy looking campfire. Or a fireplace, if you will. That's probably the correct term. And just beside our fireplace here, we're going to have our bed in the corner. Of course, any color is absolutely fine. And over on the opposite side here, we're just going to make ourselves a nice little table and chairs. So spruce fence and a spruce pressure plate with a spruce stair just beside it and a spruce sign on the side of the block. Just to make a nice little corner to maybe have some food for whoever is living inside of here. Now, the very final thing to do is to add in a couple of shelves. So we're going to place some spruce trapdoors down. The first one is going to go right here on this block. Make sure it's in line with the loom and not up by a couple of pixels like that. Otherwise, you won't be able to place a lantern on top of it. And the final one is going to be going here just above the bed. So once again, make sure it's in line with the top of a block, not up here. And you can place a flower pot with, of course, something to go inside of it. So there we go, that is our Fairytale cottage all built up. Inside and outside is fully complete, and really that's where we're going to do it for the tutorial part of this video. There are, however, just a couple more things I would like to add to this build to make it feel even more alive. Oh buddy, what a transformation. This is looking so very nice. I really like how this turned out. I feel like I am truly in a fairy tale, which is awesome, and it was a total idea of this build. So really all we have going on here is there was a big tree here, but I got rid of that because it was kind of in the way, so we got a better view. That's for one, and really all I've done is added in little pieces of nature. So we have, of course, all of the flowers here to make it nice and colourful, as well as the bone milled grass, and we have some bamboo stalks over here. Of course, this mushroom tree helps with the fantasy fairy tale feel. We got some sugarcane and some lily pads, and I've also made the actual pond look kind of cool as well, with some seagrass and kelp and sea pickles and that sort of thing. So yeah, that really is all I've done, and of course I've built a bridge. So if you happen to have a pond right outside of your cottage, then you may want to build this. And really all that we have going on is 2 brick walls on either side with a single one in the middle stretching down to the bottom of the pond, with 3 spruce fence gates in between. And because of how wall mechanics work, you kind of get this like arch, which just works really nice for bridges. And in the middle we very simply just have some spruce trap doors. I am super happy with how this build turned out, and I hope you guys are too. So thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.